Hi there and welcome back to the channel and to another video. This time something a little bit different, not just a daily race today, well, no daily races at all today, it's the FIA. So yeah, I decided I would jump into this combination yesterday in the Nations. First time I've done any FIA in, I don't know, best part of a year. I've stayed away from it for a long time. Combination of things, just the whole sort of try-hard nature of it didn't really appeal to me, along with the fact that it does feel pressurised. And yeah, I like to try and play this game for fun as opposed to competing against esports guys and whatnot. So yeah, it does feel a bit pressured, but I decided I liked the combination. I had a little bit of spare time. Group 3, round Fuji, why not? Let's give it a go. So we jumped into the RCZ, which we are absolutely familiar with from many daily races. It's one of my favourite Group 3 cars, just such a fun car to drive. And it's got good pace and good tyre wear around here, so we thought let's go for it. And as you can see, we jumped into this session. You can see a couple of familiar names there. Wi-Fi password up ahead, sitting P, well it wasn't P3 there, but we're coming down the straight. We'd already put in a 137.6, which was good enough for P7. Let's see if we can improve it on our second lap as we come across the line. And it is a 137.3, so it does move us up to P5, one spot behind the infamous Wi-Fi password. Some quick guys in this lobby. But just jumping straight into the race, because this isn't the race, the feature race of this, but this is what happened. I managed to get myself up to P4 and then, absolutely under no pressure whatsoever, just lose it on the curb, put it into the wall, and yeah, that just kind of, that's the kind of thing that happens to me in FIA races. When I've got absolutely, apparently no pressure on me, I do things like that, because of the pressure I put upon myself to try and do well. In these events, but you can see we've dropped all the way from P4 down to P12, P13, P14, and eventually it will become P15 by the end of this straight, and it's just so disappointing. And at this point I really, yeah, I was just kind of deciding whether or not to even bother. I was on the verge of actually just rage quitting, but I didn't. I stayed in the race. We managed to get it back up. We were battling out almost for a top 10. We came across the line in 11th, which actually we only lost a few hundred DR from that, so it was quite a strong lobby. So I'm kind of glad I stuck with it. But what it also did show me, it showed me, or it told me that I had decent pace for this combination. So I thought, well, let's stick with this. You can see the winner of that particular race there, Tempest Rocket. Now he's going to feature heavily in this next race because, yeah, I don't know what his problem was, but you're just going to see what happens. But here we go. So 167 points from that first attempt. So that, as I said, it told me that I had pace and I was going to jump into the next split. You can see we're 10th in this particular lobby, so this is a stronger lobby. See some familiar names in there. Fake Taxi, Halbstark, one of the PR1 drivers there. So again, as I said, a pretty quick lobby. So yeah, it's going to be hard to get a result, but you can see there from the first lap we go across, we do another 137.3, similar to our qualifying last time, and this time it's good enough to actually get us into P2 here after the first lap, behind the winner of the last race, Tempest Rocket. So he's obviously going again. Must be, hoping for more points given that he's clearly strong in this combination. You can see we go purple though through that first sector on this second lap. Not quite in the slipstream though of the Austrian friend, but we've got, as I said, we've got the pace. We're hanging in there, hoping to maybe get starting up near the front again. I wasn't expecting to hold on to P2. Certainly not after all the second laps have been completed, but there we go, we're purple again through the second sector, and this was actually quite a strong sector for me, whereas a lot of people seem to be losing time here. So I'm thinking, let's just try and hold this together, see where it takes us, and you know, hopefully we'll be hanging about near the front. So into the last turn, Tempest Rocket. I think we're gaining on him slightly, so foot to the floor, all the way down the straight. It's going to be close. I know we're going to have potentially a better lap than our first lap as we come across the line. Where are we going to end up? And unbelievably, that provisionally put us into pole position. Look how close it was though, less than a tenth of a second ahead of the Austrian. So I don't know if that annoyed him slightly, but yeah, you're going to see the way things, as I said, pan out in this race. But FIA races they can be fun, but a lot of the time they are very, very sort of tense, sweaty affairs that I'm not necessarily a fan of. But yep, here we go. Savour this moment for me anyway. Pole position and a decent split FIA race. That's not going to happen again probably. So there we are, P1. Here is our rival P2. I'll call him a rival at the moment. I think I can think of a few more choice words for him coming up, but yeah, away we go. So there was an FIA race I did here a while back, and it was one of the Toyota races, and I qualified in pole and absolutely binned it in the first corner. So I was very, very tentative here, although not tentative enough, as I felt like I was actually going to lose it again. The cold tyres playing their part there, but I managed to hold on. P2 didn't take it particularly well either, so we've still got a little bit of a lead. We were a little bit sloppy here, not really up to speed yet, the cold tyres, plus I was nervous, I'm not going to lie. Leading the race out from the start in pole position, it was not something I'm used to, but if you look at the radar there, he makes an absolutely crazy move and just spins us. Now, I managed to stop the car going full 360 and we only dropped down to P7 miraculously, but if you just look at this, I mean, he's absolutely nowhere near alongside of us. We're turning in, and there you go. I mean, that's just on the first lap. Why would you do that? Please explain to me. Now, I thought, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt, but if you look in the next lap, I got this to the replay, and he ends up in P2 here, but look what he does to the Spaniard to get him out of the way. I'll just bump him out of the way. So he's a push to pass driver. That's what we've gathered here. Obviously, we won that last race, and he was expecting to win this race, and it didn't really matter who got in his way, but it was just so frustrating. Again, it was one of these things, you're thinking, why me? The first race I've been at under absolutely no pressure, my fault, but this time round I'd qualified in pole and I end up being the person getting spun. It was, as I said, very annoying, and it's just because somebody obviously couldn't handle the fact that they weren't in pole, or that they weren't prepared to sit behind anybody for longer than a third of a lap. It's just, yeah, really, really, really annoying. Basically, the guy's an asshole. There, I said it, I swore. But that's how I feel about him. So, yeah, back to the race. So P7 coming across the line, skip forward into lap 2. We catch up with the group ahead, which contains Halbstark in P6. He's in the Lamborghini now. I could just tell by the way he was driving in the pace, I think he'd started on the hards. Because the Lamborghini's got good top end, but he was really struggling in the corners. So the guy in P5, the other Austrian, for the good fight, he serves a penalty there, and Halbstark and myself managed to get past him without any fuss. So I decided I'm going to make the move now in Halbstark because I think I've got the better tyre. I am slightly quicker than him here, so yeah, make the move, get that done nicely, and we've got now a little bit of clear track in front of us to try and gain some ground. You can see we go purple through the first sector, so we know we've taken that first corner really, really nicely. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, if I can just maintain a good rhythm, good pace, you know, just get into the flow of the track again, we could possibly salvage something from this. And I knew I had, half decent pace round Fuji, so I was happy to really just stick this one out, where I did feel like, again, rage quitting. You'll probably find it's a popular theme with me. When something goes wrong in a race, I do feel like just quitting pretty quickly. So I was glad again that I didn't in this race. As you can see, we were purple again through that sector, and into the final sector. We've definitely made up a little bit of ground. 3 Spaniards and our Austrian friend, I say that with a heavy load of sarcasm, in P3 up ahead. So we will come across the line here, and I knew this was actually a decent lap because I'd gapped the cars behind, got them out my slipstream. I'm going to come across the line a 38.1, which is pretty quick for me. Fastest lap of the race after 3 laps, so I knew that was decent. We skip forward now onto lap 7 because this is when things then start to change a little bit, because you can see the Spaniard ahead, he pulls off into the pit lane, we move up into P3. Somebody else had pitted ahead of us, so we were provisionally in a podium position here, although definitely a false position. So the strategies now would come into play, because obviously I'd started on the mediums being in pole, so that's a faster tyre. We've got obviously the runners who were behind us, a lot of them would have been on the hard tyre going on to the mediums. And this race was one of those races where it was a kind of 50-50 split when you would stop, so I decided to stay out till the end of lap 8 before pitting. And you can see here the speed of this pit. I really should make up loads of spots, but there we go. So coming out the pit on the hard tyre, P4 dropped down to P5, but you'll see Halbstark has made up a lot of ground. He pitted early, jumped onto his medium tyres and clearly made up a little bit of ground on me with the undercut. Because the last few laps, obviously when I was on my worn mediums, he was on fresh mediums, so he'd have probably been picking up a couple of seconds easily there as he flies past us in the Lambo. A very, very difficult car to drive, so if you've got the ability to do it, then it was a good car for the race if you had the skills, which I certainly don't have. So Halbstark, he's opening up a little bit of a gap, but we're going to try and stay with him because we've got a decent gap to the car behind, so I wasn't under any real pressure. And I thought to myself by this point, right, if I don't do anything silly, P6 is the worst I'm getting out of this, which, if you told me that at the start of this race, I would have been pretty satisfied with, because I didn't have really any expectations. I was absolutely shocked to grab pole in a lobby which, I was ranked 10th in it, and my DR's around about the 61,000 mark, so I knew it was a decent split. So I was happy to, try and push on here now. You can see the car's up ahead now, jumping into the pits. Had stayed out another lap longer on the medium, so potential now to pick up another spot here. As you can see, the battle up ahead now as the Spaniard defends from Halbstark. We move up into 5th spot, so we come round T1, and good racing there. I mean, that's the other side of it. Guys like Halbstark, and obviously the Spaniard here, very good drivers, very respectful, will give you all the room, the time to race, the space to race. And if all FIA races could be driven like this, then it would be an absolute joy to do. But I feel that this is the minority, this type of race. The Spaniard just getting a little bit out of shape there. We pull right up onto the bumper. My worry here though was that this was going to turn into a 3-way fight, and you can see the delta from the Frenchman behind has now went from 1.7 down to 1.2, so I'm pretty certain he's on the medium tyre as well. So he's going to start making ground up on us, and that's not what I wanted to see. You can see the delta, look how much it's came down all of a sudden, just because we're kind of in a battle now. But what I did think to myself was, I think Halbstark's tyres must be going, because it started to feel like he was holding us up now in this little battle, this little train. I'm obviously on fairly fresh hard tyres. If he's pitted anywhere near sort of lap 5, those mediums in that Lamborghini are going to start to struggle pretty quickly. But you can see there, we've now got the Frenchman for company. he's really close on us now, and we are obviously having to defend and attack, which is not a good. I'm just not very good at. I tend to find that when I'm trying to attack, I become very open to an attack myself. So situations like this aren't great. But we're obviously putting in decent lap times, especially through that first sector as we go purple again. And you can see here we've not been dropped by Halbstart, so a potential podium is now coming into my thinking with 4 laps to go. But the French went with it was a strong move. He obviously spotted the gap, knew he was had a little bit more pace, and decided to go for it. I was a little bit caught off guard, to be fair. I was just glad that I never actually spun it. That was really my overriding thought through that stage of proceedings. So we were happy to maintain our position as such on the track, only losing 1 spot. But we're still in this train. P3 is still a hope. Halbstart's doing some absolutely stalwart defending here. So there's a lot to play for as we move forward, and we've got a lot of we've got a slipstream which is good, although we are starting to lose it a little bit at this point. We can see the Spaniard now, he's making moves, and they're all kind of, now this is playing into my hands all, because they're all starting to battle with each other now. The Frenchman knows he's got the pace, probably the 2. Halbstart's tyres must really starting to be going off now. We've kind of been dropped a little bit, but I just knew that you can see here, this Halbstart has to run wide there, that we're well in this battle now. Maybe not. Maybe P3's starting to become a little bit distant, because we're going to have to try and get past obviously 3 cars to do that, and it's going to be a hard ask. But Halbstart's certainly within our sights. You can see he's definitely dropped back now in terms of his pace. We've got a chance to think about making a move, as we just managed to kept nicely behind them through that sort of stage there. You can see he's getting a little bit out of shape. This Frenchman and the Spaniard up ahead, though, they're kind of gapping us a little bit now. So it was in my mind, I was thinking, right, okay, my focus now is on P5, getting past Halbstart, and then seeing what we can do, because a little bit of contact there, but not nothing too drastic. But we've got to be thinking about making a move, because if we've got any ambitions of finishing higher than P6, then we have to try and make something happen. Halbstart's going defensive though, on the brakes. Decided that I'm not going to make a move this time. We're going to see if we can maybe catch back up to the group ahead, and this lap will be critical to doing that. But it's a nice combination, this, I have to say. I did enjoy it. Other than our friend Tempest, who actually I should mention, he did crash and spin out in this. I've just realised I've not included that in this highlights reel. But I think it was lap 4. He ended up in a battle with one of the Spaniards who just wasn't taking any of his crap, and basically just wouldn't be pushed off the track, and just gave him as good as he got. And I think it was coming around this sector here, the usual. They tried to go side by side, and the Spaniard won. Tempest just ended up on the grass and did a couple of donuts, and I think he rage quit. In fact, I'm pretty certain they rage quit, because I'll see in the lobby at the end it's not there. Halbstart there running a little bit wide, so we've got an opportunity now with the end of this lap, meaning there are only 2 laps to go. So really is a case of let's make a move, let's do something, as we fire down the straights now. Halbstart's thinking about going defensive. We're going to fake left, then go right, and then we've got the inside. So this is going to be just a case of, can we outbrake him? And yes, we can is the answer to that. He's on the outside, but we managed to get it stopped nicely on the apex here, but he tries to go for the cut back, and this is going to be our drag race now, because he's got the straight line speed in the Lamborghini, although he's on heavily worn mediums. We've got the inside line there, and we managed to take that really nicely. Halbstark again, really respectful driving, gives us space, doesn't do anything stupid. He's obviously thinking, right, okay, sit in, I'll have another go down the straight and we'll see if we can get past. I'm now looking up ahead and looking at the delta, 2.2 seconds, 2.3 seconds. It's going to really need a big mistake from one of those guys ahead to let me in the door there, but you never know. Halbstark's going up the outside, so we're going defensive here. We're going to just catch the apex there, and as long as you catch the apexes through this sector, it's a very, very difficult place to try and make a move. So we've managed to do that nicely, and once again, turning in, clipping the apex nicely onto the gas, and keeping on the curb there. Don't want to go too wide here to open the door up, so we managed to take a nice line through there. And again, up here, you don't want to open the door too much, but we managed to take another nice line and clip that apex. So now, if we can get away from Halbstark here, look at the delta, it's going to creep up, it's going to creep up. Can we get it over the... No, we can't get it over the 0.75 seconds to break that slip. So just watch this delta start to tumble as the Lamborghini sort of flexes its muscle with the top speed. Now I had to make a decision here, do I go defensive? I think he's too far back, so I'll take my normal line, but he tries to make the move, and I just think to myself, he can never hold that, and he can't. He just broke too late and did not have the grip on those tyres. So last lap, we managed to hold him off. We kind of saw that move happening. We gave him space to obviously make the mistake, and it paid off, because obviously now we've got a clear track ahead of us, and you can see the delta now creeping up and up, and that's music to my ears as we think about now just not making a stupid mistake, because that is the only thing that can stop me now, and it is something I am well capable of, as you have seen from the previous race. But just keeping things nice and tidy and dropping it down first. Don't want to accelerate too hard and lose the back end, which can just catch out in this car on these curbs. Again, clipping that apex nicely, and Halbstark's, yeah, he's sort of ran his race. We don't need to worry about him making a last gasp attempt here. He's far too far back for that. So you can see up ahead, into the distance, the car's coming across the line. P1's over the line, P2's over the line, P3 and P4 will cross the line, and I will take my P5. Absolutely delighted with that, to be honest with you. Held my nerve even after the spin at the start, which was, yeah, that was a big moment for me, because I could have easily quit, and I would have walked away from the game once again, annoyed with it. But it felt good getting the P5. Probably I'd say, yeah, that's the highest rated lobby I've ever done an FIA race in, because it's the first time I've ever done an FIA race with a driver rating of over 60,000. So driver door 10, finishing P5, 248 points for a P5. That's decent, I'll take that. Not that I'm trying to do anything with it, and I don't know if we'll do any more FIA races in this exhibition season. I think there's only maybe one left anyway. I might do it, you never know. But yeah, if this was the last exhibition season in GT Sport, I'm glad I'm finished with a decent race. You can see there, I looked down the grid and seen that the Austrian was indeed a rage quitter, so he couldn't handle what had happened on the track and quit. But if you liked this video, if you enjoyed the content, then give it a like and even subscribe. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.